Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about how to write your report following report format. How do you present your experiment after you have carried it out in the lab? So this is the laid down format we normally use to present report after you have carried your experiment in the lab. Number one is title. You must state the title of the experiment you are carrying out in the lab. It must be boldly written, the title. After title, you go down to M. Why are you carrying out this experiment? That is where you will state the M to carry out the experiment. Now, previous video I posted about aspirin. The title of that experiment was esterification of esters. And what was the M? The M was to prepare aspirin. All right, it's just as simple as that. Thirdly, that is reagents. Reagents is just any liquid form of materials you're working with. How do I mean by that? If you're working with any liquid at all, that becomes your reagent. If you're working with water, if you're working with ethanol, if you're working with acetone, any solvent at all, that becomes your reagent. Remember, reagent is different from your samples, right? But most of the time, samples can also be reagents. If you're working on liquid and those liquid becomes your samples, so they can also be your reagent and also be your samples. Samples is what you're working on, while reagent is what you're working with, all right? So samples is what you're working on, the materials you're trying to work on to find out the results that you have desired in your end. That is the samples. Apparatus, these are the materials, vessels and non-vessels apparatus you use in the lab. You have to state them, all the apparatus you use, so that anybody that wants to carry out this same experiment will also, using your apparatus, will produce the same result that you have produced. Next one is procedure. I will talk on procedure because there are ways on how to report your experiment. It must be in a reported speech. I will do a video on that now shortly. The next thing is results or table. Now, after you have carried out your experiment, you must present your results. All right. This result can be in form of written or it can be in form of table. Most times, results are presented as tables, or you write your results. Then after writing your result or presenting your table, move down to observation. What did you observe while carrying out the experiment? The things you observe, either the temperature change, precipitates, or whatsoever you observe while carrying out the experiment, you state it in the observation column. Then conclusion points down to your aim. Right, they are linked together. If you're concluding, you will make sure that you have achieved the aim of what the experiment you're doing. Okay, so most of the times the aim might be to prove some principles. If you actually proven a principle, then the conclusion is that you have proven a principle and it yielded a positive result also. Now, most of the times we give assignments, so assignments comes last. You don't have to write assignment first before writing your report. So you must have your assignment at last. So reporting a procedure is one of the challenges students always face when they are reporting their experiment. Now, what we will give you in the lab is procedure. But we don't expect you to send back or write back what we have given you, even though you have done the experiment. Now, let's just look at an example to this. Now, you're asked to get a clean test tube, add 5 ml of sample B, add 3 drops of ammonia, shake and record your observation. This is a procedure given to you in the lab on how to carry out your research or your experiment. Now, if you have done it, and you want to report that you have done it, it will be in a reported speech. And avoid using I added, I used, my sample, and all that. Now, this is the correct way on how to report or how to present your procedure. Now, it's very concise. 5 ml of sample B was added to a clean test tube. 3 drops of ammonia was added the solution was detected and the observation was recorded. This is very simple. So anyone that is reading this will understand what you have done in the lab and will be able to reproduce what you have done in the lab. Thank you for watching.